Did you know that in terms of MegaMan slash Pokemon, we have something or rather someone in common? Meet Hatoshi Ariga, who worked on designing Dynamo Man and Pioneer Man from Mega Man and Base, and loads of these designs slash redesigns of Mega Man characters we know and love, but in a comic sense, because they are unique to the Mega Man Mega Mix Master Mix Giga Mix comics. Side note, you should read these comics, they are cool as shit. I mentioned Pokemon earlier, and yeah, he worked on some Pokemon designs that I personally really like, and he even contributed to the characters' artworks that I'm now using to convey expressions. Props to you, Ariga. Anyways, that got my mind tickled. What if I made a video series that takes two of the characteristics and played a bit with both? I like the idea of giving Mega Man characters a set of Pokemon team, either full of 6 or 5 months, it depends. But I'm not giving them teams and call it a day. I will elaborate on why I granted them such monstrous like Rituras. So, like, for those who are Mega Man fans and know shit about Pokemon, I will elaborate on each mon. And for those who are Pokemon fans and know shit about Mega Man, I'll do the same on each character trainer. Would try to succinct as I could though. So, without taking more of your time, let's catch him up. Let's rock. With our first guests, we have Dr. Thomas Light and Dr. Albert Wily. Let's go with Dr. Light first. Thomas Light is a leading expert in robotics. He made Mega Man, his sister Roll, and many other prominent robots. He is a loving father to his creations, who he considers his family, which is really heartwarming. Being the kind-hearted person he is, it becomes heart-rending when you learn that he's also gullible. He worked with Dr. Wily in his youth until a major event occurred and split the two, which later on made Dr. Wily hold a grudge against Light, as he tricked him times before. Dr. Light has an ambition for achieving peace between humanity and robots, for which he created Mega Man to prevent any threats coming from Wily. His later inventions continued beyond his own age. Talk about a father figure. Oh, he also likes the internet apparently. Bad idea. So about Dr. Light's team, let's start it with Magneton. Magneton is essentially 3 Magnemites fused together, forming a bizarre combination that disturbs signals. This unique quality could significantly align with Dr. Light's interest in the internet, or whatever he does. Also, magnetism and a degree in robotics go hand in hand. Kling Clang finds itself in a similar situation to Magneton. For being a gear-based creation, it's a no-brainer that any machine or robot would extensively utilize gears. Rotom, a playful ghost, possesses electrical equipment and can transform into various forms from each appliance. From these forms, I will take the frost form of Rotom, since one of Light's robot masters is based on a fridge. Slowking. Slowking, a Pokemon said to possess the intellect of a genius, comes up with a groundbreaking ideas that can change and flip the world to a whole 180, albeit with the drawback of eventually forgetting them. Fitting for a professor/doctor kind of niche. Porygon 2. A man-made Pokemon with upgraded abilities compared to its pre-evolved form. It does have a fully evolved form, but I decided on keeping this one. You'll know soon why. It is used to travel through space to explore, in which could reference another robot master Light made, which is Galaxy Man, a funky little 3D disc-looking UFO. Finally, Unpheasant. Unpheasant embodies the essence of peace and serenity, aligning perfectly with Dr. Light's desire for tranquility. However, its pre-evolution Tranquil symbolizes this serenity. But I would imagine this Pokemon evolving. You are an old man, Dr. Light. You gotta make your mons old. You look like a fake Giga Chad with that foam on your chin. For Dr. Light's ace, I think Slowking fits as his ace. The overall concept of it knowing valuable ideas is quite fitting for a doctor that basically changed the world with his experience with robotics. Now with Dr. Albert Wily, the man of malicious intent of his timeline. He is a compelling character, quite stubborn and swag at times. Boasting about his evil genius is his affection, and proving to Dr. Light about his big noggin is his gameplay. He is known of taking any possible opportunity to take over the world and cause havoc. He makes castles upon castles and robots upon robots to defeat Mega Man. and makes fancy machines, capsules, and even a hologram to create a holographic alien, just in case he didn't feel more frivolous. He had stolen many robot masters with different rules to stand against MegaMan, and one of his ways of doing that is injecting them with a bizarre affecting source like the evil energy or Roboenza. So, for Dr. Wily's team, Malamar, the embodiment of true evilness. This Pokemon's whole shtick is to strongly hypnotize others to do what it wants. It even mentions that quite a bunch of folks use Malamar for their evil deeds. Quite fitting for our old man here. It could reference the whole alien part with Wily too, since this Pokemon does look like one. Orbeetle, another hypnotizing fella, although this one is interesting. You see, Orbeetle is in a very similar case to Wily. It is either based on a mad scientist or intelligent alien trope. However, the mad scientist one truly stands out, especially when delving into its pre-evolved forms. Blipbug, initially portrayed as the stereotypical nerd, evolves into Doppler, embodying the classic scientist trope, a dedicated individual so engrossed in their wild scientific endeavors that they barely to rank. In its Gigantamax form, it goes all out with the hypnotizing, mind-controlling, and alien vibes. It's basically a legit UFO that's out here brainwashing civilians nearby. How mind-blowing is this? Clank Clank, a bunch of gears. Just what a mad scientist needs for those crazy inventions. And by crazy, I mean serious business. He literally has a gear fortress. And Magnetism, another UFO trope, this time mixed with a machine, seemingly fits well. It hints that Wily is armed with capsules for battles, including his favorite UFO one, even though he doesn't particularly fight with it. Metagross, same as Magnetism, except this time it hints to his machines that he fights with, plus Metagross is a highly intelligent supercomputer, and cold at that, it fits very well. Also, Mega Metagross could resemble a floating Wily machine to an extent. Now, Porygon Z. This glitched as hell Porygon is the evolution of Porygon 2 that I mentioned in the Light segment. It points to Wily's habits of snatching up other robots, essentially corrupting them in the process. Most of these bots aren't originally his and serve various purposes beyond just wreaking havoc. Hence I left Porygon 2 for Dr. Light to make this distinction clear. For Dr. Wily's ace, Orbeetle. It is a no-brainer, honestly. Now is the man named after the series itself, MegaMan. MegaMan was originally designed to be a lab assistant to Dr. Light, named Rock, but due to maliciousness and degradation on Wily's part, which juggled Rock's sense of justice, or what I like to call a fast antivirus, converted Rock and armored him into what we know and love as MegaMan. MegaMan got the characteristics of prepubescent boy, yet remains a man at heart. He has genuine emotions that sometimes make him sympathetic. He is naive and a dumb idiot. He gets tricked at times, much like Light. Like Flutter, like Samus it says. However, he constantly overcomes challenges. MegaMan is famous for his trusty Mega Buster full of plasma shots, and the ability to copy various weapon systems at hand. Furthermore, he has animal companions to aid him, including Rush the dog, Pete the bird, Eddie. He's not an animal, but if we could squeeze our eyes, and Tengu the cat. However, Rush and Beat hold more prominent roles. So, for MegaMan's team, we have got Armarouge, a warrior Pokemon with armor, and get this, it creates a buster-like cannon for shooting from its shoulders. To be frank with you, I wish I had that technology to use to against my own enemies. Vikavolt is a stag beetle Pokemon that can charge electricity from its abdomen to shoot our electrical beams. It can carry a Charjabug, its pre-evolution, to charge itself or unleash a more devastating electrical beam. Vikavolt is also based on the concept of a railgun, relevant to MegaMan for two reasons. Firstly, its association with the Mega Buster for being based on a railgun, and secondly, the plasma nature of the Mega Buster shots involving electricity. Moreover, Vikavolt could resemble Mega Man's ability to shoot electrical weaponry such as Thunderbolt and Thunderbeam. The emphasis lies in utilizing Charjabug as a charger, akin to the idea of refilling weapons ammo with ESW tanks. Additionally, it's worth mentioning that Armarouge could be a reference to the fiery weapons Mega Man obtains, giving its its fire typing. Clowitzer, a lobster-inspired Pokemon resembling a howitzer, clearly follows a pattern here. However, with Clowitzer, it takes the concept to an extreme level, utilizing its big claw buster or gun to its advantage. In its Pokédex entries, it mentions that by expelling water from the back of its claw, Clowitzer can move at high speed. While MegaMan doesn't employ a similar method, he maximizes the advantage of buster shots and various weapon systems. Moreover, MegaMan already has weapons that can propel him at high speed. He got some water weapons too. Galarian Slowbro. Galarian Slowbro has a MegaMan-like buster seam again. It can shoot poison spit from its arm shell. Kinda resembles Acid Barrier from Mega Man 11. I would imagine Dr. Light giving MegaMan a Galarian Slowpoke, similar to where he found his own Slowpoke to evolve into his Slowking. Next are Pokemon that reference Speed the Bird and Rush the Dog. Stoutland for Rush and Corviknight for Beat. Now, how can a massive Pokemon relate to a tiny bird like this? Well, it takes its first stage with Rookidee, an actual tiny bird, and it's blue like Beat, but I wanted it to evolve. The Dex entry for Rookidee makes sense for Beat since it battles, and Beat could take on enemies and help MegaMan quite well in combat. As for Stoutland, I didn't think of other dogs Pokemon that could be as loyal, friendly, and helpful as Stoutland to resemble Rush. So I went for it. It doesn't fly or turn into a submarine like Rush, but I wouldn't care. Helping attribute is enough by default. For MegaMan's Ace, to be fair, I had a very rough time picking this one, but out of the Buster-like Pokemon, I could take Clowitzer. Not because it is blue or anything, but the Pokemon can learn like a lot of elemental shooting weapons, or moves, which in a way could resemble the copy weapon system MegaMan has. Meet Rule, the sister of Rock. She is a kind and a caring character and the actual lab assistant to Dr. Light. She enjoys cooking and taking care of things, as a girl preparing for her future would do. Cowardice is a part of her personality. However, don't let that fool you. She is capable of breaking a noggin with a powerful grip of her broom, and she does it with a bit of style too. Overall, she is a loving character. So, for Roll's team, we have Beware. Beware is a Pokemon based on a stuffed animal and a bear. This Pokemon looks friendly until you realize that it can kill you with ease. It is said that it can hug and kill people by its hugs. Stuffed animals would be relevant to little girls, and the idea of Beware being a facade works well with Roll and the fact she can fight back at times. Furfrou, a Podol Pokemon with a varied amount of styles, refers to her various clothes and the fact that women love fashion. Chinchino, the chinchilla Pokemon that is obsessed with cleanliness. It's known as the Scarf Pokemon because its appearance is based on high-class women's style from the 1960s. Its prominent gender is female, and it is a cute-looking mon, so it perfectly fits Rule. Audino, or Odino, is a kind-hearted Pokemon, usually associated with nurses and caring, and is mainly female. It got big ears to listen to others' feelings too, just like what sisters would do. Kirlia. By the look of the design, you would understand it enough. It is the emotion Pokemon too, which again fits. Hatterene, a little girl-looking Pokemon again, but this time fits Role especially well, since it talks about if Hatterene felt strong emotions from someone, it will silence it violently. It's lovely. For Role's Ace, it's an obvious one. Chinchino. It does relate more to Role with the cleaning and being girly kind of stuff. Chinchino also uses its tail like a broom to attack. Not implying that Role has a tail, but she got them swings with her broom. Now we finished with the miscellaneous characters of the first game. We can tackle the Robot Masters, aka prominent boss characters of the same first game. Those are Robot Masters that were made by Light but got stolen by Wily. Starting with Cutman. Cutman is made to be a tree trimming robot used for deforestation. He likes his cutting job and sharp stuff. He is a keen-witted and cunning robot, has a bad tendency to listen to others since he is bull-headed. I guess we could perceive his scissors as bullhorns, but regardless, in other game depiction, he is shown to be naive and very kind-hearted. He is known to be agile yet durable to some extent. So, for Cutman's team here we have Scizor, frequently associated with agility and ripping pincers. this steel-type Pokemon could work well with Cutman in this scenario. Its Mega Evolution goes beyond hard with its pincers too. Also, its name is essentially a corruption of the word scissors, so yeah. Pincer. Much like Scissor, it uses pincers to tear up enemies, but this time, it is a whole pincer. Its Mega Evolution pushes the sharpness to the next level also. It also lives in forests, so I imagine as if Cutman got one while he was working. Farfetch'd, a wild duck Pokemon that uses the leaked holes to cut through anything. It's also one of the Pokemon to learn Cut by nature with its movesets. Weavile, an agile and cunning Pokemon with sharp as heck claws. In fact, the way you get this Pokemon is by giving it a Razor Claw item to its pre-evolution. Sceptile, another Sharpie, but this time it is more associated with the tree scheme. Works since Cutman is used for deforestation, so trees being cut. While deforestation may sound wrong for a Pokemon like this, it mentions that it itself can cut trees with ease. Hell, its Mega Evolution pretty much commits tree genocide. And finally, Sudowoodo. Nothing much, it is just a dead tree, since Sudowoodo is based on a petrified wood, or petrified trees. Cutting down trees doesn't particularly petrify it, but Sudowoodo could resemble a dangerous scenario of cutting trees, which could result in this by itself. For Cutman's ace, I think Scissor works the best. Notably, the steel typing saves it a spot here, however, the Scissor in its name too. I think it's the only Pokemon to relate to Scissor. Also, red, very red, Gutsman, a civil construction foreman. He's quite impatient with his work, but can get annoyed easily. He's quite intelligent and his appearance might give off. He cares for his friends, likes karaoke, and dislikes arguments. Gutsman is that type of guy to drop a hot take without elaborations as a Chad he is, I think. He's also an earth mover robot. He utilizes ground pretty well and can throw rocks with ease. Look at those muscles. No wonder why they focuses more on Gutsman. He wishes to be swole. You can't bet on that. So for Gutsman's team, we have Conkeldurr and Machamp. Both are mono-fighting type mons that are counterparts to each other's. Conkeldurr is based on a construction worker, and it is said that it taught people how to make concrete. Machamp isn't particularly a construction worker due to it being based on a wrestler. However, it is seen on construction sites helping and lifting heavy stuff. Also, both are buff men, so yeah. Rhyperior, an amalgamation of hard hat, wrecking ball, safety vest and a drill. It's quite a powerful piece that can shoot or rather throw rocks literally from its bombs. Torterra, the content Pokemon, based on the word turtle. Even though it is mainly nature themed, I think it would be relevant to Gutsman, as it can move the earth and could be a source for wood if possible. Also, the idea of Gutsman having a bit turtle is so cute, I love it. I imagine him resting on top of Torterra after work. Diggersby. As you can see, that is in fact a rabbit. Oh, and rabbits are good at digging. Yes, that's what my script is telling me, I shit you not, it's a glorious fact. Though, look at this fancy ears it got. They are excavators to facilitate the digging process for this mon. This Pokemon is indeed used for construction sites, and it is ugly just like Gutsman's old sprite. Bibarel. Based on a beaver, and beavers do construct small dams in the wild. Don't mind me, I use the semicolon 3 voice tune, and yeah, I cringed already. For Gutsman's ace, I think Rhyperior works the best. It got a lot of construction equipment to its design alone, and the funny tossing of rocks from its bombs strongly connects to Gutsman's super arm. Next is Iceman. Iceman is designed to be an exploration robot for Antarctica. Yeah, that's what it is. He likes to show off, is a little of a selfish little brig that can easily cheer up. He likes snowball fights and is alarmed by hot temperatures, basically. He may seem weak, but he is formidable. Oh, and in other game depiction, he got that personality of a newbie soldier, which I find really funny. So, for Iceman's team, we have Alolan Sunslash, Alolan Sandslash is a sharp-looking icicle shrew that could resemble Ice Slasher. The weapon Iceman gives you and how he essentially shoots. He does shoot icicles too. And Mr. Rhyme, it's an ice type but it likes to captivate others with display and comedy shows, so I could say it going well with Iceman since it likes to show off to people. Prinplup. Penguins live in Antarctica. Prinplup is also self-centered, which could go hand in hand with Iceman. Ice Cube. Ice-type penguin with a block of ice for a face. Once more, penguins inhabit Antarctica. Cryogonal. Inspired by ice crystals and snowflakes. Although the word cry is in its name, it actually refers to cryo, not cry. Even though I believe its appearance, which resembles crying, fits Iceman. Vanillix, the ice cream looking icicle Pokemon that can put you under a pile of blizzard summoned snow if pissed off. But I like to think that Iceman could use it because it enjoys ice cream. This makes sense when you consider that Iceman is essentially a child-looking robot after all. Alolan Sandslash I think work the best for an ace. It is a clear one with sharp ice edges and slash associated design elements to reference Ice Slasher the best. How many times I said ice in this section actually? Bombman. Bombman is a demolition robot master. His design could resemble that of a punk attribute. And he likes bowling. He is designed to work along with Gutsman in construction work, but he is the type to procrastinate, you could say. He enjoys doing other stuff that pleases him more. He's quite the daring and the flashy guy, and a good spender at that. Pretty much what you would see from a guy in his teenage days. So, for Bombman's team, we have Graveler, uncaring and free Pokemon that likes to roll down a mountain and either explode or just collide, like bowling. Electrode, the Pokemon that is well known for exploding and it enjoys doing so, like Bombman who is obsessed with his bombs. Scrafty, the hoodlum Pokemon. The term hoodlum refers to a troublesome or violent criminal, but in this case I want the troublesome mark to have some connection to Bombman, since, you know, they share similar punk characteristics and colors. Toxtricity, Pokemon that is literally a punk. It got two forms, but I am choosing the amplified form, since it has the same mohawk style as Bombman, and evolved from its re-evolution Toxel with distinctive nature. Some of the available natures to evolve it to this form are Naughty, Impish, Adamant, Raish, and Jolly, which all of these make up for the connection ultimately enough. Blastoise. Its pre-evolution Squirtle is often looked as a cool and swag Pokemon, especially in the anime, that it could fit Bombman personality-wise. Plus, Blastoise got that blast in the name, even though it blasts water. Forretress. Forretress is based on a bomb, much like its pre-evolution, Pineco, which is more of a grenade looking, but both are still bombs anyways. Notice that most of the Pokemon here are round except for the punk ones. Also, Electrode works pretty well as an ace. It needs no elaborations. It is the bomb Pokemon of the franchise. Fireman. Fireman is a waste disposal robot master. Quite the enthusiastic guy, although he is hot-tempered, so he is easily fueled up in negative and positive ways. Which means whenever he gets angry as shit, or happy as a child investing a $1 worth of Robux, he goes, "Fire, feel the burn," but not in that tune. He often thinks he is a hero of some sort, or the flame of justice as his mother tricked him to believe. His armor design or helmet takes a bit of inspiration from medieval helmets, which could add to his passionate part and heroism. So, for Fireman's team, we have Armarouge, medieval aspect and an arm cannon that shoots fire conveniently enough because it's a fire type, and it is a hero to an extent, I believe. Heatmore, known for being Durant's predator, a bug and steel type Pokemon that it incinerates its steel body. It could be referenced in a way to waste disposal. Typhlosion. It claims that when provoked or enraged, Typhlosion can burn anything, which this guy here also does. Also in Typhlosion there is Typhoon and Explosion, and Fireman gives you Fire, Storm, it's copy weapon. Yes, really, but I had to mention it. McMurder. By the look of the design, you could say it is here because of the sick firearm blasters. They're many mentioned as a hot-blooded monkey that is a fire type, and quite the enthusiasm lies into it. Baldian Tauros. Fire breed. I wanted Tauros because bulls are quite the animals that can get angry and I think excited too in a way. Also, this is a fire breed. Makes sense. McMurder is a fitting pick for an ace because of the fire blasters and all, although Armarouge is a good candidate too. Elec Man. Elec Man was designed to control power in electric power plants. He got a sense of purpose and responsibility, as Dr. Light was highly proud of his creation. He likes playing guitar and singing while doing so, even though he is a bit sulky. In his other depiction, he is conceited and kind of sadistic too. He always boasts about his lightning speed of electrocuting and lightning speed of other things. Yeah. Elec Man's team's next, and we have Jolteon, Zipstrika, Manectric for first. Obviously, all of them are electric type mons, as they are also known for being fast, and one of them got a Mega Evolution that talks about its explosive speed matching that of a Thunderbolt. I also neglected the fact that Elec Man is a high-speed robot, and Dr. Wily eventually creates his own fast robot master based solely on Elec Man. So yeah. Loudred and Toxtricity. Both are very relevant, so I place them together. Audio, voice, equipment, and loudspeakers are the foundation of Loudred. And this version of Toxtricity in a low-key form also works because, well, it has an organic guitar attached to it, and of course there is the electric typing that is associated with the Toxtricity. While both forms could work well, the Pokédex entries for the low-key form specifically talks about how this form strums with its organic guitar, so more into the sound territory than the other. Finally, Electabuzz. Just a generic electric type Pokemon. It roams around power plants, so I could imagine Elec Man getting himself fun while working. For Elec Man's ace, I think low-key Toxtricity works as a matter of the guitar association. Time Man. Time Man is a robot used for time travel experiments. He is a prototype though, which led to the failure of said experiment. He is easily irritated and obsessive over unnecessary perfection. Talking is considered time wasting to him. He is cold when confronting anyone being late or too early, as he seems to be taking calculations too much into consideration. Now for Time Man's team, we have Noctowl. Owls are often decorated for clocks, and this Pokemon is no exception, so much that it got clock attributes. At least its pre-evolution does, but it still relates. Next is Metagross, for intelligent calculations, nothing more than that. Clink Clank. Clocks do be having quite a plentiful number of gears, so that's why it's here. Bronzong, the pill Pokemon. It is a resemblance to clock bills. And lastly, Zapdos. Pokemon that gained prominence for its ability to foresee the past, the present, and the future. Something that Time Man wasn't really able to accomplish, but was meant to be able to do. Or at the very least for time travel, but it still works rather well. And yes, that's the first character with 5 Pokemon instead of full of 6. There are Pokemon that relate to time, but they are legendaries. Not easy to obtain by a mere robot master with not much going on with them. For Time Man's ace, I think Noctowl will work. Both got quite the stare. Also, Noctowl is highly intelligent and relate to time. Oil Man. Oil Man is a maintenance robot. He provides oil source to others. He is very carefree, reckless, and doesn't take things seriously. Overall, a fun little dude. He speaks in an urban language, and he takes a Daffy Duck-like appearance. His area is in an oil factory in a desert. He has been a controversy for a moment of his lifespan, because his original design was, too dark. For Oil Man's team, we have Ludicolo. Ludicolo is a carefree Pokemon. It got an identical attribute to Oil Man, and especially with the lips. Revavroom. It is a car Pokemon. Cars use oil. Alolan Mach is based on an oil slick. It got the appearance of a pile of oil layer amalgamations. Coalossal. A coal kaiju is industrial use and coals can be extracted and turned into oil. Galarian Weezing, also used for industrial seam, fits the stage more, but it still relates to Oil Man. And finally, Maractus refers to the stage where his is in a desert and cacti can be used to extract natural oil, and Maractus is a cheerful Pokemon in and off of itself, which might fit Oil Man's character of goofy personality. For Oil Man's ace, I think Ludicolo works pretty much. Yes, it is not oil-based Pokemon per se, but the characteristics fit pretty well. Both are goofy goopers. Alright, that wraps it up for this starting episode of a series. Tell me in the comments how would you perceive this idea, at least for this very episode, and if you know of suitable Pokemon that suit best for each character. Also, quick announcement, but I'm opening coffee. Not the beverage, but KO-Fi. The platform. It is like a community application. You can join it to check my other stuff I post if you're any interested. I post my pixel artworks in there. I could share stories if any and socialize. It is a cool little lab. And if possible, even you could as well commission artists for your needs, which includes me, but that's up to you, viewer. Regardless, I will catch you all in the next video.